Wow. So, if I hadn't had Jalen Hurts stolen from me in week 12, I'd be completely fucked right now watching Ghoulie Pete in the top 8 instead of me. Fuck, Joe, man. I gotta remember that we're buds, and I may not understand what the fuck you're doing sometimes, but there is a plan. Picking up Brian Robinson and Geno Smith in tradebacks helped me get into the playoffs, and not having Jalen Hurts has kept me there. Okay, well, Joe and the universe were definitely very good to me this week. Not a single L on my record. Not even in the Kickers League or the crappy IDP one. From here out, it's Joe, take the wheel. I trust you. Ha ha!
Are you ready?
I'm just Jim.
Welcome to the 18th edition of the Fantasy Football Monsters. I'm the vampire with the mile-long smile, Von Murder. Joining me is the guy who fucking blew his chance to be the man last week, Jimmy. Bitch, at least I showed up. I didn't pussy out with a sore throat. And what the fuck are you wearing? Did you get the Kirk Cousins starter kit? Not my fault my voice is so guttural. If you can't talk, you can't host a show, dick. And these are my Meta Panda Club bling. It's a basketball thing, so I ain't going into it. But when you go 12-0 on the week, you get out the bling to celebrate. Anyway, we've got the guy who didn't do any better than you did, Morty.
My sincerest apologies if I didn't perform up to your satisfaction, sir. I certainly was caught by surprise with your unscheduled absence.
Don't apologize to this guy. That was a shit situation from top to bottom. I'm just fucking with both of you. I couldn't be in a bad mood if I tried. That's what happens when literally everything goes right. Scott Fishbowl goes from 1,000 to 500. Got 74th. Razzbowl goes from 36 to 24. Got 6th. Frank goes from 32 to 8. Second place in the mash. Coasted into Rivals 1 as top seed. Got the W in Rivals 9 to reclaim the top seed. Top seed Vampire League. Hell, I'm even top 2 in the Home League. Underdog SFB qualifier. First place in my division, advancing. Underdog Best Ball Madness. First place in my division, advancing. What the fuck do I have to be sad about?
Von Murder?
Yeah, I know. Listen, I'm not getting overconfident, but that doesn't mean I can't celebrate a bit. Ha ha! Just get it all out of your system. Remember, thus far you have 0 championships this year. You had a great week. That's nice, dear. Let's see what happens next week.
Perhaps we can focus on some other topics that would be better for general viewing.
I'm good with that. With the playoffs coming around, I want to discuss a topic that is very near and dear to my heart. Handcuffs. Whoa! You going rogue, dude? That's not the kind of fantasy we're going for here, man. Goodness, tell me more. That excited you maybe a little too much, Morty. And not that kind of handcuffs, Jimmy. Handcuffs are essentially a term for each team's RB2. Especially around playoff time, when you don't really have a lot of maneuverability, many times it's a good idea to pick up the handcuff for the major running backs on your team. Especially if they are more so succeeding because of the system rather than individual efforts.
Well, I guess we can discuss those handcuffs too.
Oh, so you mean getting people like Zeke, Zach Moss, Devin Singletary, and Joshua Kelly? Precisely. All of those have at some point proven over the season that they can be big name players if the main guy goes out. But sometimes it's not as worth it. Like, I'm not picking up Jordan Mason if CMC goes out, because CMC is just a damn special player. Same with Matt Breida and Saquon Barkley. And sometimes you can't really get a handcuff because the team is actively running 2 or even 3 RBs. Detroit, Miami, Pittsburgh, and lately Tennessee are all good examples where more than likely the guy who would be the handcuff has enough starting value all by themselves and are likely taken already. Having some form of a backup plan is key, and even the best of us can be left bag holding. Like, in Frank, my tight end situation was okay at first. I started with Freiermuth, but the week he got hurt, I was able to steal Kelsey for all of 2 weeks before he got blobbed away. Luckily, I was able to get Taysom Hill once he got stolen. I've had a couple backups, but starting in week 11 when Taysom went on bye, I knew I was in trouble because the tight end market at that point was pretty dry. I picked up Conklin for 1 week, and he didn't do much. After that, due to injuries and no one out there that really excited me, I went down to just Taysom. Well, when he couldn't go in week 14, that was a problem. I had no backup plan. Honestly, I got lucky picking up Kraft, who ended up being the number 2 tight end for the waiver wire. Now, I feel compelled to hang on to him, but if I had planned better, I could have still had Hunter Henry, who would have made my blood pressure go down considerably this week.
Indeed. The playoffs are definitely not the time you want to be caught off guard not having a complete lineup.
So, in all seriousness, Von Murder, congrats on making it through the Frank meat grinder. I kind of put something together to commemorate that. Oh, Jesus. No. Tell me you didn't. Oh, I did. Hit it.
I was working in the lab late one night when my eyes beheld an eerie sight. From a monster from his slapping can to rise, and suddenly, to my surprise, he did the monster mash. It was a graveyard smash. It caught on in a flash. He did the monster mash. In the arms of an angel, fly away from here, from this dark, cold hotel room, in the endlessness that you fear. You are pulled from the wreckage of your silent reverie. You're in the arms of the angel. May you find some comfort here.
Well, that was a mashup I didn't think I would hear. Ever. I'm pretty sure my auditory senses will never completely heal from that experience.
That was... Well, it wasn't a Barbie parody, so I guess that's good. I did like watching the names of all those people who he survived go by. That did my rotten, evil soul some good. Especially since now every perp from the Week 11 screw job is gone. I think I can now officially be good with what happened. Still unfathomable, but given everything that's transpired since, it shall not be mentioned again. Ever. The NFL was insane this week. I'm starting with the fact that the Titans hadn't won a road game since November of last year. Somehow went into Miami and straight embarrassed the Dolphins despite being 14-point dogs when Miami absolutely crumbled at the end to lose 28-27.
Patrick Mahomes got the unusual feeling of a late game call actually going against him, and then threw a temper tantrum as the Bills kept their playoff hopes alive with a 20-17 win over the Chiefs.
The year was pretty much already done for the Chargers, but Denver gave Justin Herbert an extra early send-off for the year, with the Broncos handling LA 24-7. Speaking of LA, the Rams lost to the Ravens' backup punt returner when they forgot how to tackle in overtime, 37-31.
Jake Browning and the Bengals slammed the door on the Colts' 4-game win streak with a 34-14 win.
The Lions are starting to look more like the Lions of old, with their second division loss in 3 weeks, this time to the last place Bears, 28-13, who avenged their collapse against the Lions 3 weeks ago. Minnesota and Las Vegas should just give all the fans who showed up to that game their money back, as they put on what was easily the most boring fucking game of the year, with the Vikings winning 3-0.
Tommy DeVito has everyone in New York cosplaying as Guidos as the Giants slipped by the Packers 24-22.
New York got the exceptionally rare double win as the Jets broke CJ Stroud and Nico Collins in a 30-6 domination. And last, but damn sure not least, the motherfucking Dallas Cowboys welcome the Eagles with a stiff punch in the mouth to give them their second 20-plus point loss in 2 weeks, 33-13.
Really? That's exciting! I love letting little bits of information loose into the universe.
What Morty's talking about is we're going to announce a few of the leagues we're working on for Extreme Fantasy Football next year.
But just a small taste. We want you to be excited about what we are offering next year.
First, apparently Morty let out the Wildcard Mascot League. This is a wild league where you don't actually draft specific players, and also gives a reimagined look at the NFL as a whole. My personal favorite's the Chaos League. This league will keep you on your toes as the rules will change every single week, and we see who can best adapt.
As a fan of classic board games, I'm excited to discuss the Monopoly League. Be careful how you use your fob, because the winner of this league will be whomever has the most left at the end of the season.
For you no-limit Hold'em players out there, we have the league for you. Win the hand, win the pick. But be careful, if you bust too many times, your season could be over before it even begins. If you like the show Survivor, then you'll love our Survivor League, like a guillotine league, only when your head gets chopped off, it might grow right back later.
For our more cerebral financial people, our Sacks and Stocks League will test your ability to pick winners on the gridiron as well as on Wall Street.
Last, but definitely not least, the Champions League is sort of a mix between Frank and another league we found. But here's the catch. You're not stuck with the same champion the whole season if you don't want. This is a league I can't wait to go into more detail about later. Yeah, I'm getting to it. Even more details next week, and early bird signups start in 2 weeks. The earlier you're in, the cheaper it is. Oh man, I am excited as hell for this. This is really going to test the skills of the players. I can't even wait for next season to get here. Well, I don't see us starting any XFL fantasy leagues, so you're going to have to wait.
Wait, an XFL Fantasy League? Is that a thing? Is this a way for me to get my fix in the off-season?
What you do on your own time is up to you, but I'm damn sure not talking minor league football here. And for this week, we're done talking any football. I've got waiver wires to hit. Big week 15 coming up. I guess we'll just have to keep living vicariously through you. At least for this season. But I'm fucking playing in the Chaos League next year.
And you know I must use my wide array of knowledge in Sacks and Stocks.
Everyone will get their chance, but later. For Jimmy and Morty, I'm Von Murder, reminding everyone to help control the human population. Have your kid spayed or neutered. Ha ha!
For our more cerebral... For our more... For our more cerebral... I can't say the word cerebral.